What's up everyone, James here, and in today's video we're going to be looking at the Asta 20 LED marine light. This light comes in two different types. You can get the freshwater and the saltwater. As we're going to be adding this to the budget nano reef tank, then obviously it's saltwater, so let's take a look. Okay, let's check out this Asta 20 nano LED aquarium light. Box seems pretty thick. It's got a tick there for saltwater. This light also comes in a freshwater type as well, so thankfully I've got the right one here. So let's unbox it and have a look inside. Okay, so it looks pretty cool. The light's sort of bigger than I thought it was going to be, which is great, and the remote is massive, which is pretty cool. I've read online and seen a few reviews about this, so some of the features like the Wi-Fi doesn't work on this. I think it's a very different model, but the channels give different light styles to the aquarium. I think you've got your white lights, your blue lights, I think there's an ultraviolet, and I'm not sure what the other one is, but I'll check it out in a bit. And I think you can adjust like the brightness of the lights as well, so it's great. A couple of batteries, a mounting bracket so you can clip it to your aquarium. That is pretty solid. It's a piece of metal, it's proper solid there, so that's great. And the actual LED itself that feels really heavy, which is pretty cool. I don't know if it's a good thing or not. Checking inside. Yeah, always great when you get the right plug as well, so that's pretty cool. So there, looks like I've got the screw to the plate there, and not sure what that is yet. Maybe a lens for the actual LED. I think there is a wide angle type sort of lens that helps distribute the light better. And yeah, this is the transformer. And inside, usual stuff, little thank you note, blah blah blah, and instruction manual. Yeah, so it looks like from these instructions that was some sort of lens that you can put on to give a different type of angle there, so that's great. Just gotta try and find the right instructions. Yeah, so one thing to note with the light here that a lot of people have said, this is not sort of like a Bluetooth LED, which is pretty annoying, but the actual remote fires into this infrared receiver here. So when you're setting up this light, you need to make sure that when you point and turn on the light, that you're actually aiming it at this receiver and not just the actual light itself. You can't just point it anywhere, so you know, it's always good to think about where you're going to put this before you decide on it, because it might cause you a bit of aggro and some issues. So one thing that's pretty cool about this light is obviously you can adjust it to where you want. Now just feeling this rod, that's pretty solid. There's not a lot of like flexibility in there without sort of putting your weight into it, which is really good, because it means that you can position the light into a way that you'd want it, and it's not just going to flop over time, which is pretty cool. Also, if you want to change the lens on the light, you can just unscrew this plate here from what I've read, and you should be able to pop the lens just onto the LEDs there. Let's give it a go, see if it works. Perfect. pretty tight in there as well, so that doesn't look like it's gonna like wobble or go anywhere. So yeah, let's get this hooked up and see what it looks like. So there it is, guys, all set up. The actual light itself was easy to mount, but I did come across some issues which really confused me. So I'd say maybe a design flaw, but we'll see. So you'd think when turning on a LED that all you would do is just press the on button, but when I did that and pointed it at the infrared receiver, nothing happened. The light just wouldn't turn on. So it turns out what you have to do is press the on button and then either a channel or full power, which I haven't checked the instructions yet, but seems like a pretty bad design flaw. The reason I say that is that I just spent the last 15 minutes trying to figure out why this light wasn't working, by pressing on and off and everything. I also checked the connections, tried multiple plugs in my house, checked the batteries in the actual remote itself, and even replaced the fuse in the plug because I thought maybe the fuse had gone. And I was almost literally at the point where I was going to send this back until I just happened to press the full power button on here and the light switched on. So I'd say that maybe is just a little bit confusing for people. So if you are interested in buying this light, just bear in mind that you have to press the on button and then a channel or full power. It doesn't just turn on. So just to give you an overview of the types of modes that you get on this light, if I press full power, then that is all of the LEDs at maximum power. So if you press channel 1, for example, you get a very blue light, which you can adjust with the plus and minus. So you can turn the lights up and down. There you go. And equally with the other channels. This is just the blues. Turn them up and down. Actually, I think it's the red and greens actually. And then there's the other channel, which is channel 3, which is the blues. Again, you can turn them up and down, and the bottom one here, that is all the channels at whatever setting that you've set them at, plus the ultraviolet. So one thing to know is that you can change each one of these channels for the intensity you want, and then if you press the bottom channel 2, it will display them all at the levels that you've set for each one of these channels, if that makes sense. So if I was to brighten up, say, the whites and turn that up like this, then when I go to the bottom one, it's a bit brighter. I hope that makes sense. So just some final thoughts really on the light itself. It's been a couple of weeks now since I filmed most of the video prior to this, but I just wanted to give a little bit of an update because I've had a little while now. One thing to know is that the actual LED itself obviously hasn't got a coolant fan, so this bit can get hot here. So just be mindful of that when handling it when the light's on. So especially changing the lenses and stuff, if you're best turning the light off, giving it a little while and then changing the lenses. But in terms of the light itself, it works really well. I love the colors of it. It makes my tank stand out so much better than what I had. I had a Nicrew Classic LED on there just as a temporary measure until I could afford an actual reef light, marine light, whatever you want to call it. But everything seems to be great so far, so I'm really impressed by the light. It's great value for money and it does exactly what it needs to on this size tank, so I can't really argue with it. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and let me know what you think of the light in the comments below. Be interesting to see what other people's opinions are on this light, and I'm also looking forward to seeing what it's like when I get some corals into the tank, so that should be interesting too. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. I put out weekly videos on my fish keeping journey. I give tips, tricks, reviews, and so much more. So hopefully there's something for everybody. So until next time, stay safe.